insurance company, the Greenspan Company Adjusters International team will guide you through the entire process to get the settlement you deserve. Call 888-GREENSPAN for a free consultation. That's 888-GREENSPAN or greenspan.com. The right way to settle claims.
I'm Serena Williams. You watch me live on TV.
And I'm that voice for movies you watch on demand. DirecTV Stream brought us together to save the world.
Maybe not save the world, but DirecTV Stream does bring your live and on-demand favorites together.
Your favorites together.
I just said that.
She just said that.
Introducing DirecTV Stream, the best of live TV and on-demand with no annual contract. Get your TV together at directtv.com.
Twice high-speed internet compatible device. Content varies by package and location. Restrictions apply. You went online to switch your car insurance to Progressive so you could save money. Then you saw a friend request from an old summer camp buddy. And now here you are, clicking through photos of his kickball team from 2011. Looks like they won the championship that year. Then he moved to Tulsa. Oh, a new tattoo. Yes, they said it was easy to save hundreds on car insurance with Progressive, but they forgot about the rest of the internet. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. National average savings by new customer surveyed who saved in 2019.
But have you heard about Tecate Alta? Introducing new Tecate Alta, born without borders. A cerveza suprema with only 84 calories, 2.4 carbs, and Tecate's signature refreshing taste. New Tecate Alta, cerveza suprema, beyond expectation. Mexico is in us.
Enjoy Tecate Alta, be responsibly. 2021 imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Luckily, there's Office Depot Office Max, here to help you save time and money. With all the supplies, all the tech, all the furniture, all the everything to get ahead and stay ahead. Whether that's from home, the office, or anywhere. Plus, when you shop online, we'll have your order ready for pickup. Now in just 30 minutes. We promise. Or get $5 off your next qualifying purchase. Because our business is to keep business going. Visit OfficeDepot.com for details.
Stay safe and limit your exposure to COVID-19 while you start on the path to recovery. Choose treatment and choose Change California. Find a proven treatment option that's right for you at choosechangeca.org.
25th in the Memorial Auditorium with Mike Epps, Country Ways, some more, and Earthquake starring Mike Epps.
You know them black mothers love jumping on their daughters. You know when the daughters start getting funky with her mama and tell her to do something, I'ma do it. What'd you say? I'm not too weird. I'm taking that wash and dry. I'll be funky. He got shot years ago, so he paralyzed from the waist down. But he get a social security check, but he already broke. So I was like, what you doing with your money, brother? Unless you got to put no gas in your wheelchair. You know what? I'm gonna let you just break up with me and I gave you a kidney. He can say something like, look, this just ain't working. If that kidney working, we work. Every time he pee, you need to thank me. Wait, that'll be working for 3 weeks. Get his check is $43. He goes to a supervisor. Who is garnishment? It's on the Mexico.com. Proof of the COVID-19 vaccination or negative test is required to attend to see this.
Especially when you consider everything.
First off, Geico makes it easy to switch, and you can contact your local agent for personalized assistance.
But having a trusted insurer could make you question some not-so-trustworthy people, like the friend who says he doesn't want pizza, but when it comes, sure, he'll have a slice.
Well, if you switch to Geico, you could save hundreds on car insurance, and you could keep saving by bundling your motorcycle, boat, and RV, plus your home or renter's insurance.
But saving money might make you so happy you start to skip everywhere, which could get your nickname, the Skipper. And you want that as a nickname. Think on it?
Well, they do have an industry-leading mobile app you can use to pay your bill, file and manage a claim, or add a new driver. And they offer discounts to military and federal employees.
But when your life gets a little easier, it makes you too carefree and you end up going barefoot everywhere, which is all fun and games until you step on a bee.
Well, Geico is the second largest car insurer in the country and has been saving people money for 85 years. It's hard to beat that.
But
You're right. Switch to Geico. It's obviously a good idea. Uh-oh. And he just discovered the equipment freeze. Back away slowly.
If your internet bill drives you wild, just remember, you're not a bad person. You just need a straightforward price. Get AT&T Fiber. Unlimited internet with no price increase at 12 months. Visit att.com/no hidden fees. New ZQuil Pure Z's Restorative Herbal Sleep is made for people who are tired of being tired. I've never slept like this before.
I've never woken up like this before.
A melatonin-free sleep aid made with a botanical blend that contains clinically studied and effective valerian root, hops, and passion flower, shown to help promote better restorative sleep. Z-Pro Pure Z's Restorative Herbal Sleep. Sleep this good, feel this good. Available at retailers near you.
Hey, Mom.
Hi, hon. Just calling to see how you're doing.
I'm great. Just out on the quad.
Not at the library.
Don't worry. I'm studying. I'm using my new high-speed mobile hotspot from T-Mobile.
Your dad told me you switched.
It was a no-brainer. With T-Mobile, now I get unlimited talk, text, and data.
You got all that on your allowance.
Yeah. I really feel like I'm adulting with T-Mobile. Seriously, you and Dad should think about switching.
We might go taxes.
And the money you save could go towards my allowance, right?
Nice try.
From non-stop streaming to taxes and fees included, T-Mobile's customer benefits let you do a whole lot more than talk. Like Untitled. Get value and coverage at T-Mobile, your hometown network. Visit your local T-Mobile store to switch.
Okay, what would you like to hear?
Plus, dedicate songs to family, friends, pets, anyone, anywhere, anytime.
I love music.
Alexa, make a request.
Okay.
From iHeartRadio.
Let's get ready to rumble! Welcome to the show. My name is Charlton with Big C. This is Charlton and Big C Sports coming to you worldwide on the Big C Sports Network, on the #1 network in the United States of America. And Big C Sports has been voted the #1 sports show in the universe, according to Big C. And those good old boys around the country, I want to say today's show, bienvenidos. Oh my goodness. It's also, I believe, it's Hispanic Heritage Month. So I want to say, bienvenidos to all my Hispanic brethren. All fair and level war. Today's show is sponsored by your Northern California Cadillac dealers, home of the all-new Cadillac Escalade, the standard of the world. And when you go by and test drive yours, just tell them Charlton and Big C sent you, as well as a fleet of Cadillac cars, also all around the world, heard on 17 podcast platforms, soon to be 18. Yeah, give that man some praise. If you want to follow Big C Sports Podcast, just say any electronic device, your cell phone, your smartphone, your Alexa, Google, all fair and level words, just say play Big C Sports Podcast. We're on Google Podcast, #1, #2 Alexa, #3 Spotify, #4 Speaker. We are #4 Apple Podcast, #5 we're on iHeartRadio Podcast, #6 Castbox Podcast, #7 Deezer Podcast, #8 Podcast Addict, #9 Pod Chaser, #10 we are on GeoSavan out of London, England, #12 Podtail Podcast for Big C Sports Podcast, #13 Hubhopper, #15 Stitcher, #16 Radio Online, #17 Luminary. And coming up is going to be on Facebook. I guess they're going to start playing Big C Sports Podcast on Facebook anywhere around the world. Just say play Big C Sports Podcast. You can speak it to your phone, and you'll actually have the podcast come up. Really appreciate that. Some of you might even try to block it. It's all fair and letter word. You can also follow Big C Sports on TV. Just say on Xfinity Comcast TV. We're on Apple TV. We're on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, and a lot of smart TVs all over the universe. It's better to have a smart TV. You'll be sitting there looking at a still picture. You know, there's a thing called Ancestry.com. I love it. Actually, it's a good service. But I love for every show in the universe, I'm going to pay homage to my family legacy. So this, I guess, is BigCLegacy.com. My family legacy, Mamo, the matriarch of the family, Pop, Negro League baseball player. He's my great-grandmother and great-grandfather. Mud Deer, she's a seer. She can see things before they happen and tell you about it. So that's really important. Also, Hezekiah, my grandfather. On my mother, it started a Head Start program. And, I mean, just very important, started a Head Start program. Also, managed a baseball team. It wasn't Major League, but it was a Little League baseball team. He actually won a league championship. And then on my father's side, my grandfather, Albert Curry, he owned service stations in Oakland. And then he was also a Baptist minister. My grandmother was Alberta Curry. She's the matriarch of the family on my dad's side. Then my father, he was actually a United States Air Force pilot and chief mechanic, worked on airplanes. And I like to channel my voice. My brother Todd, I channel a lot of what I do through Todd, is that funniest thing in the movie. In the movie Pulp Fiction, he said, that stinging sensation you're feeling, that's pride blinking with you. Blink pride, if that makes sense to you. That's when Ben Raines was talking to Bruce Willis, all fair and level, where I love paying homage to my family on every Big C Sports podcast. As I say, let's get ready to rumble! I really love what I do. Espy-nominated Big C Sports podcast. I'm telling you, really appreciate that by Disney Corporation. Also, there's no scripts, there's no three-way teleprompter, there's no producer. In my ear, some people say, yeah, they're playing for the obvious. Charlton, it's all fair, love, and work. I also honor every show of my son, Malcolm. Give that man some praise. He sends me stats, oftentimes on NBA stats. Really appreciate that. Going to have a segment for him when the NBA season kicks off. He'll be speaking to college kids. Also, my daughter, Daisy. At times, she would help me set up sporting events. Really appreciate that. And at times, also Big C in the past. Give us all some praise. Give us some praise. Praise, praise, praise. Really looking forward to it. Why Espy nominated? I challenge anyone to do it. Really. It's one thing to criticize, like the great Alexander O'Neal. All you want to do is criticize. Some people criticize. But just do it. Get the octagon and beat some of those guys you say can't fight. Number one, I produce. Number two, I direct all the topics. Number three, it's important. I broadcast every show, never miss a show. Number four, I do all the sound effects. Excuse me, did I break your concentration? Number six, I do all the commercials. Number seven, I do all the stats providing. I do the storytelling. Number eight, I do the play-by-play, touchdown, home run, three-point play. Oh, man, Willie, he's going all the way. Well, the Oakland Raiders, the old fans will understand that. You know, number nine, I upload every show to 18 podcast applications. Going to be on Facebook. I haven't confirmed that yet, but supposed to be on Facebook by Monday. All fair and level war. And then number 10, I never missed a show since starting Big C Sports back on September 12th. 2015, as I say, welcome to the sports universe. Really appreciate that. Also, what I really appreciate, I'm the only sports show in the universe that pays homage to God before you need help. In Genesis 13:15, it says, for all the land that thou seest will I give you. Give that man some praise. And thy seed forever. My favorite verse of one of them is James 4:2. You have not because you ask not. Give that man some praise. Give the good books some praise. Give the good books some praise. Really appreciate that. Also, I will always give praise to our Veterans Crisis Hotline. They really are experienced helping veterans and their loved ones get help. You know anybody going through issues. And nowadays with COVID, everybody's going through something. Maybe it's called COVID fatigue, but sometimes people just lost. Fuck, have you lost your freaking mind? A lot of people lost their freaking mind around the country, it seems, and maybe even around the world. But the Veterans Crisis Hotline, they really are there to help people. Pick up the phone, call 800-273-8255. That's 800-273-8255, or you can text 838-255. That's 838-255, but you can definitely get some help for our veterans and their loved ones. I really appreciate that. Also, I'm very, very happy to be affiliated with Valley Homes Weekly TV on Dish TV, Direct TV, AT&T Uverse TV in the first place, San Francisco Giants. My goodness, you never really know. The Dodgers and the Giants, they're like a, I won't say dogfight, just in case certain ex-football players are listening, if that makes sense to you. But I won't say dogfight, I just said it. But producer, edit that scene, please, edit that part. I won't say fighting, if that makes sense to you. But the Dodgers and the Giants, that's what baseball is meant to be. These good boys are fighting every single week. Nobody knows who's going to be in first place by the end of this regular season, getting into the playoffs. But when you reach out to them, just tell them Charlton wants those World Series tickets. I'm going to get them too. And I hope it's in San Francisco for the World Series. And also part of the Big C team, the real estate dating app, because houses get lonely too. Give that house some praise. Praise, praise, praise. Whenever you're tired of looking at that same garage door opening, you can swipe left and you can swipe right and get a new home loan to help people purchase and refinance homes. The Big C team, go to bigcsports.pacwm.com. That's bigcsports.pacwm.com. Find out more about what's going on in the world of real estate. Our goal is simple: recruit 10,000 real estate agents and brokers all over this country to help people put properties on TV. Just like State Farm is there, McDonald's does it, Nike does it. Car dealerships are doing it. Watch sports teams and real estate work for you. 800-772-8624. Really appreciate that with the Big C team. Also, all around the world, I want to say thank you. Xfinity, Comcast TV, and Comcast Spotlight, give us some praise for bringing Big C Sports to the universe. Just like in Genesis 1:3, God said, let there be Big C Sports. I mean, hold on. Man, my producer, you know Friday how people call in sick, they take the day off. My producer took the day off. Wait a minute, that producer's me. In Genesis 1:3, this makes some of my Bible friends, my Hebrew friends mad. You guys got to get a personality. God said, let there be light. That's all I'm saying. Open your cell phones and say, play a BC Sports Podcast. It's not blasphemy. Some people don't have any sense of humor. All fair level war. Also, this show is sponsored by Budweiser Zero. It has 0% alcohol, 100% on your game. Sports fans, this weekend, watch the big game with the Big C Burger. It's a tasty burger, and it comes with, what's all this exotic meats? All fair and level war, the Big C Burger. If any of you know, it tastes better in your mouth than it does in your hands. And I guarantee it, because I tried it myself. What did Scarface say in the movie Scarface, Tony Montana? He said, you never get high on your own supply. Well, I don't agree with that, because I've eaten enough Big C Burgers to actually look like I could beat, what's that guy, Joey Chestnut? I don't think I can beat Joey Chestnut, but I've had to eat my fair share of Big C Burgers when people say, what's all this exotic meat? It's all fair and level war. I also want to say today is, listen to this, guys. For all these sports fans, fantasy sports is big. The all-purpose website for SuperDraftPro.com/Big C Sports. It's important to understand that SuperDraft Pro is featured in Sports Illustrated, Yahoo Sports, Associated Press. That's not bad at all. Associated Press, RotoWire, Sportico. For you sports fans, subscribe to unlock the exclusive fantasy games and sports betting experiences. Get that right. Write it down, guys. With SuperDraft Pro, the official fantasy partner of Caesars Entertainment. Simply go to SuperDraftPro.com/Big C Sports. It's important because it's the best sporting app in the universe. That's my opinion. Gonna have a lot of stuff to talk about. It's a fast Friday. You ever do anything fast? I do everything fast. You think I talk fast? You should see me dance. I can make you dance if you want me to. I can make you dance, 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 dance. Remember that song back in the day? But my favorite song by Von Mason and the Crew was called Bounce. Roll, skate, roll, roll, go, bounce, roll. Okay, I'm gonna spare your eardrum if that makes sense to you. But we're gonna take what's called the Big C pause, also known as the Big C timeout, in the words of the former California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger and the recalled Governor Gavin Newsom. I'll be back. All right, we are back for the Big C pause, also known as the Big C timeout. You can follow Big C Sports Podcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on about 18 podcast applications now and 4 TV applications now. Want to get right in it? Let's get ready to rumble! Big C's Friday Night Lights, super prep football all over this country, national rankings. And I know it's true because I ranked every team myself. I counted them all with my hands, if that makes sense to you. You ever do anything with your hands? You guys know what I'm talking about. Everybody is sometimes let your fingers do the walking through the yellow pages, if that makes sense to you. Number 1 in the country, out of California, the number 1 high school football team in the country is Mater Dei of Santa Ana. They are 2-0 in the season. Number 2 is IMG Academy out of Bradenton, Florida. They are actually 4-0 in the season. Number 3, St. John Bosco of Bellflower, California. They're at 5-0. Number 4 in the country is Westlake High School of Austin, Texas. They are 3-0. Number 5 is Thompson of Alabaster, Alabama. They are 5-0. Number 6, Bergen Catholic out of Ordale, New Jersey. They are 3-0 in the season. Number 7, Collins Hill of Suwanee, Georgia. They are 5-0. Number 8 in the country, Servite High School of Anaheim, California. They are actually 4-0. They're in the same league with number 3, St. John Bosco, and number 1, Mater Dei. Can you imagine in the country, the top 8 high school football teams in the country, 3 playing 1 league in Southern California, no paperbacks to be found. So you Southern boys, watch them out. Watch them out. I know what you're thinking. Number 9, Center Grove out of Greenwood. They are 5-0. And then number 10, St. Xavier out of Cincinnati, Ohio. That's Big C's top 10. Give them high schoolers some praise, especially the coaches. Oftentimes, high school coaches, they don't have the big contracts. They don't have the $1 million, airplane ride, $1 million budgets where they can get kids from all over the country. Oftentimes, these private high schools, all they do is go around the city and get kids that should go to other schools. I mean, that's rumor. Rumor has it. I can't confirm or deny. That makes sense, yeah. But that's part of being a private school. Wish them all nothing but the best. I want to just wish everybody, please, on the high school level, don't drink and drive. If you know anyone drinking, please don't drive. Don't let your friends drive. Don't destroy your life or anybody else on this beautiful, happy Friday. It is September the 24th, 2021. Give these high schoolers some praise one more time. Give them all some praise. Take the keys from any guy or gal who's going to drink and drive. Don't let them do it. I want to say, let's get ready to rumble. Welcome to the show. This is college football. All the top high schools are playing tonight. Their hope is to get to the next level. That next level, Big C Sports has it covered on the college football scene. It's shaping up to be one of the weirdest seasons in recent memory. When I think about number 7, Texas A&M, and then number 16, Arkansas, they meet on Saturday, having played each other 77 times, dating back to 1903. That's a long time. And when you think about it, the two former Southwest Conference rivals, they have played annually at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. That's a contest branded as the Southwest Classic down at Jerry Jones Dome down in Texas. So they'll get ready to rumble in the great state of Texas. But when you think about it, they look to break the Hogs' departure from the SEC. 1991 had happened. And then the SEC, they resumed play in 2009 with Arkansas winning 3 straight. And in 2011, they met just 6 days after A&M announced that it too was leaving the Big 12 for the SEC, also known as Paperback Conference, if that makes sense to you. Don't get upset. You guys know it's true. So when you think about it, in 2011, they met just 6 days after that announced it, leaving the Big 12 for the SEC. The Aggies blew a 35-17 halftime, leading off 42-38. All fair and level war. But since 2012, down in the great state of Texas and the state of Arkansas, the Aggies officially be joining the Hogs in the SEC West Division. It's been all Texas A&M. The Aggies going 9-0 against Arkansas in that span. But the Hogs are back. They're playing a lot better football than they had in the past. I want to just bring up a couple of more notes for college football, and Big C Sports has you covered as we let's get ready to rumble. All these good boys kicking off on college football weekend. Think about this, guys. The Aggies knocked starting Arkansas quarterback Nick Starkel out of the game. That same Nick Starkel who entered 2017 as the A&M starting quarterback before getting injured in the opener against UCLA. When UCLA out of the Pac-12 beat Texas A&M out of the SEC, they keep saying, well, the Pac-12 just doesn't play good football. Oregon knocked off Florida State in the bowl game. Oh, you know the Pac-12 just doesn't play good football. They beat them 59-20. I think UCLA beat Texas A&M 38-34. And then this year, UCLA knocked off LSU. I think that score was 38-27. Could have been 50-27. You know, the Pac-12 doesn't play good football. All's fair in love and war. But they beat all those good old boys, those knuckleheads that come out to the Rose Bowl. So think about this. Kellen Mond went on to start in that series. Starkel opted to transfer. He joined San Jose State, where he's starting now. San Jose State won the Mountain West Conference last year for 2020. It's all fair in Leavenworth. So the good old boys down in Texas, you'll have the Arkansas-Texas A&M game over this weekend, and may the best team win. It's all fair in Leavenworth. That game is actually, when you think about what happened last year, the game was played in College Station, Texas, because of the pandemic. And Texas A&M won 42-31 against Arkansas. Now the game returns to Arlington. That's Jerry Jones Dome. It's a 3:30 p.m. kickoff East Coast time on CBS Sports. And the year's twist is that both teams are ranked for just the 3rd time in the history of their rival. Give those schools some praise. They've been bags, and now they're in the ring. You don't say if that makes sense to you. But the game returns to Arlington. And when you think about it, 3:30 p.m. kickoff East Coast time on CBS Sports. Both teams are ranked for the 1st time, actually the 3rd time in the history of the rivalry, after the Hogs flattened Texas 2 weeks ago. I mean, they've knocked off Texas, the Longhorns. Now they're trying to knock off the Texas A&M Aggies, and that's my upset of the week, that Arkansas will knock off Texas A&M. This team is good, and they're pretty darn good, and they can claim the championship in Texas, or the Aggies can prove the SEC medal of the incoming Longhorns. Meanwhile, the real standing, the winner becomes the biggest threat to Alabama's West chokehold. I got Arkansas knocking off Texas A&M in a close one, maybe 28-24, somewhere in there. Arkansas can score a lot of points. They might even get 30. It's just my opinion, and I'm sticking with it. There's another big game in the Northwest. Actually, in the North, it's called Let's Get Ready to Rumble. You Big Ten fans? Number 18, Wisconsin. They're at number 12, Notre Dame. That's going to be at Soldier Field in Chicago. What a scene. It's a madhouse to bring these two great universities to Chicago Soldier Field. It's a 12 noon kickoff, East Coast time on Fox Sports. Now, Notre Dame's chance to prove that is better than it was and what it's shown the last couple of weeks. Close win against Florida State, and then the win against Toledo. I mean, they got to play like champions. They had a 2-touchdown win over Purdue. It's an endorsement for a team that expects to compete among college football's best every year. But for Wisconsin, they can add a non-conference ranked opponent to their resume. It won't necessarily make up for the loss against Penn State, but Penn State's good. Ask Auburn how good Penn State is, if that makes sense to you. But think about what it means. For Wisconsin, it's not going to make up for the loss against Penn State, but if it remains their only loss, if they win out, then they're talking about being in the playoffs. Wisconsin's a good team, but Penn State's better. Penn State's win was closer over Wisconsin than it was over Auburn. And Auburn's a team that's perceived to be the best when it comes to nationwide competition. Not so fast, my friend, the great Lee Corso. I want to bring you to another game in college football that's big. You have number 9 Clemson at North Carolina State. It's a 3:30 p.m. kickoff, East Coast time on ESPN, and then the ESPN app. The Tigers coming to the game. They had a 14-8 win against Georgia Tech. So it hasn't been that impressive so far. And then the team that was a massive underdog, Clemson's offense just hasn't come close to what it was last year and all the hype it received before the preseason. I told you that Clemson was not a ranked better team than Oregon. I already told everybody that. But they're still going to be a good team. They're going against the North Carolina State defense that's currently ranked 23rd overall as far as strength. And then the Tigers should and will be favored in this game. They're going to have to show some sort of life on offense before people really start believing in what Dabo Swinney can do. That good old boy, that Clemson. It helps that their defense has not allowed a single offensive touchdown this season, even against Georgia. Georgia had a pick 6 that scored. So Clemson's defense is ahead of the pack, no pun intended, when it comes to the rest of the ACC. I look forward to that game, and I do feel that Clemson's going to get a win over North Carolina State, and their offense should get going with quarterback DJ Uiagalelei, all fan level work. I want to go to another game. Give them some praise. It's the Big Ten. Rutgers at that number 19 Michigan. Who's got it better than us? Nobody. Listen, Michigan's a better football team than number 19. It's a 3:30 p.m. kickoff East Coast time on ABC and ESPN on the app. The game has a lot of intrigue about it. Rutgers is 3-0. Michigan's also undefeated, but it's been the best team in the Big Ten East. The Scarlet Knights will be without 2 cornerbacks, Max Melton and Chris Long, who are suspended after being taken into police custody because I guess they were studying too hard in the library. Come on, guys, use your brain. Studying too hard in the library. They had a paint gunball incident. So Milton, who was a starter, has 2 interceptions, a block punt, and a fumble recovery, and 8 tackles this season. That's certainly going to be advantageous for Michigan, but I don't think Michigan needs it. And Kate McNamara, who's proven to be one of the Jim Harbaugh's best quarterbacks since coming back to Ann Arbor to be the head coach for the University of Michigan. That good old boy has done a lot of things. Give Jim Harbaugh some praise. Give him some praise. Praise. He said he would bring him back, and he's actually done a good job at Michigan this year after being under the hot seat a lot of what he was dealing with the last couple of years. I'm going to take you to a game down in the SEC. Southern Miss at number 1 Alabama is a 7:30 p.m. kickoff East Coast time on the SEC network, and also ESPN, the app has it. It's another milestone for how great this program is. The only real thing that's intriguing is that Nick Saban can win his 100th straight game against an unranked opponent. I mean, he beats everybody ranked to unranked. And he brings that whack, that duck with him also. Maybe it's lined up for Alabama to play Oregon in the national championship. Whack. Elephants and also ducks. It's important. You know, the U.S. jumped to a big lead at the Ryder Cup. I'll talk more about that later. But Nick Saban to get a 100 state win against an unranked opponent, that's longer than the next 3 longest active streaks combined. with Clemson at 36, Notre Dame at 35, and Cincinnati with 24. You know, Cincinnati's playing Notre Dame coming up too. This is a great year for college football. I'm going to go Akron out of Ohio, the Akron Zips. They're going to play at number 10 Ohio State. It's a 7:30 p.m. kickoff, East Coast time on the Big Ten Network. If you really want to evaluate teams, you got to believe to be playoff contenders. Ohio State's defense has given up yards at a clip that people say they aren't used to, but come on. They played a tough Minnesota team, and they lost to a very good Oregon team. So don't let the smooth taste fool you. The Buckeyes gave up 408 yards against Minnesota. In the Pac-12, 505 yards against Oregon. But they also gave up 500 yards against Tulsa. So they can't keep up that kind of pace and expect to be in the playoffs in January. Coach Ryan Day, he switched defensive play callers last week against the Golden Hurricanes and Kerry Coombs and Matt Barnes. And while the challenge, it did not make much of a difference, it's still going to be a situation worth watching. The Ohio State Buckeyes are a very good team. And when they get that crowd going, you know the Buckeyes are nuts. And that crowd can drive you nuts. It's all fair in level. Well, Ohio State has not lost to a team since the 1921. Think about that. Ohio State Buckeyes. Ohio State hasn't lost to a team in that state since 1921. It's not going to change over the weekend. Here's another big game coming up for the Big 12 before we take the Big C pause. West Virginia, Rocky Mountain, take me home. Country road, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, enough already, enough, man. So West Virginia at number 4 Oklahoma is a 7:30 p.m. kickoff East Coast time on ABC Sports and then the ESPN app. So the intrigue about this game is seeing if the Oklahoma Sooners can return to form like they had when Barry Switzer had them go to boys playing Jamil Holloway and Keith Jackson. Can their offense return to form? They had lofty expectations, high rankings coming into the season. Nebraska held the Sooners to the fewest points at 23 points since Lincoln Riley arrived in Norman, Oklahoma. That's not bad. 23 is the lowest points since he arrived there. Spencer Rattler was Heisman Trophy hype coming into the season. He's a preseason favorite for the Heisman. Seems to have fallen off a little bit from contention, but none of that's going to matter. The Sooners can keep winning no matter the margin of the number. If fireworks, West Virginia 0-25 all-time on the road against top 25 teams. That's not a good sign. Look for Oklahoma to roll. All fair and Leavenworth. I want to bring you to another game. It's a big game. It's on the West Coast. I have number 2. We have Arizona at number 2, Oregon. It's a 10:30 p.m. kickoff East Coast time on ESPN. Also the ESPN app. The crowd's going to be nuts. No, that's Oklahoma. What's the Oregon fight song? Quack, 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 quack. That's a crazy duck. It's a fighting duck. UCLA lost to Fresno State last weekend. The Bulldogs are good. USC's already fired his coach. I told him Nick Saban should be the next coach at USC. Quit messing around. OJ, go down and get Nick Saban. It appears the Ducks have to survive this season to be the conference's only hope for a playoff spot. Not so fast, my friend. This game looks like a safe bet. The Wildcats are 0-3. They are 28-point underdogs and coming off a loss to Northern Arizona. So you can put that win in the books for Oregon Ducks. All's fair and love and war. I just hope that everybody can have a great week out of college football. There's a lot of other good games, but also I want to get to the point of I want to just touch base, but I'll do it after the Big C pause. So everybody, let's get ready to rumble. Go out and support your college football teams. Please no drinking and driving. Everybody, please stay safe over this weekend. It's a great country that we live in, but you got to be here to see it. I'm going to take what's called the Big C pause, also known as the Big C timeout. In the words of the former California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger and the recall Governor Gavin Newsom, I'll be back. All right, we are back for the Big C pause, also known as the Big C timeout. You can follow Big C Sports on 18 podcast applications and 4 TV stations. Really appreciate that. I also want to mention, as we look at college football, on Monday this week, the Big Sky Conference announced that October 2nd between Eastern Washington Eagles and the Montana Grizzlies has been moved to ESPN2. That contest is going to be on network for the first time, the Big Sky, a game that airs on the network. And while that's a big deal for those two programs, it's also going to open up for more FCS programs. Really looking forward to having those young good old boys having their chest in the wind. Chest in the wind. All we are is chest in the wind. Or is it dust in the wind? I thought it was chest in the wind. Chest in the wind. All we are is chest in the wind. All we are is chest in the wind. Looking forward to that. Really looking forward to all those good old boys. I want to turn into now. Are you ready for some football? Let's get ready to rumble. NFL style. Well, it was kind of a coughing attack. You ever have a coughing attack? Well, last night, the Houston Texans and the Carolina Panthers, it felt like a coughing attack. Like no one was really playing good football. But the Panthers and Texans, you know, Carolina, they're undefeated. They remain unbeaten after a 24-9 win against the Houston Texans Thursday Night Football. They are 3-0 for the first time since 2015. You know where they went after that? Super Bowl 50, Santa Clara, San Francisco. They lost our running back touchdown, Christian McCaffrey. That's sad news. Well, maybe a severe hamstring. You know, guys pull their hamstrings every now and then, if that makes sense to you. He needs an arc in his life. And then they had a rookie quarterback, J.C. Horn, has a broken foot. What's going on? We're just in game week number 3. People are already broken up. So we're going to see what happens to happen for that team. But they 24-9 win. And I want to congratulate touchdown Sam Darnold, because in New York they kicked him out. In New York they told him, get out and don't come back. And he had to leave New York City. New York City, yeah, they said get out. And they kicked him out. And so now he had to go down to Carolina and see if he can find greener pastures, if that makes sense to you. So I wish the great Sam Darnold out of USC nothing but the best. And I'll see what happens as he tries to groom himself to have more success with the Carolina Panthers. And I think that good old boy's off to a good start. So you can laugh at him all you want to. Everybody wants to criticize him. He was always kind of the guy that the scapegoat for the New York Jets. But in New York, a lot of guys have had a hard time finding success. But now, fighting in the NFL, which stands for the National Football League from Big C Sports, all fair and love and war. Really appreciate it. I will be in San Francisco Sunday night for the San Francisco 49ers and the Green Bay Packers. Give that man some praise. As Big C Sports has a national credential to cover NFL football, and I'm really proud about that. All fair and love and war. I'm going to jump right into it. There's a lot of good games coming up, and I'm going to give my opinion, and everybody has one. We're going to start Sunday, September 26th. Tennessee Titans. They are 1-1 on the season, and they are going up against the Indianapolis Colts. That game's going to be at Nissan Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee. It's a 1 p.m. East Coast time kickoff on CBS Sports. And the Titans are favored by 5. The over-under is 48. Think about this. There's a lot of concern about the two best teams in the NFL's worst division. Even before touchdown Carson Wentz got injured again. And the Colts defense designed to prevent big plays. Give up a ton of them. Eric Fisher's return to action only shifted into the team's line on the other side. Tennessee's pass rush might be one of the few units that cannot take advantage. However, Titans rookie cornerback Caleb Farley and Elijah Molden have already been benched. We'll see what happens. I think the thing for Tennessee, Ryan Tannehill, touchdown Ryan Tannehill, turn around and look at your big 3 weapons. You have number 1, and fighting out of the Tennessee Titans, number 1, touchdown, Derrick Henry. Give that boy some praise. Give him some praise. You also have touchdown A.J. Brown. Give touchdown A.J. Brown some praise. If that's not enough for you, you have touchdown Julio Jones. Give touchdown Julio Jones some praise. That's what he needs to understand where they are. The coach Frank Reich, said that Friday Wentz will probably be a game-time decision. It doesn't matter. I'm still going for Tennessee to win that game. Another big game. The New York Giants, they're 0-2. They're at the Atlanta Falcons. They're 0-2, so the season really hasn't started in New York and Atlanta. The game is at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. It's a 1 o'clock p.m. kickoff, East Coast time on Fox Sports, all fair and level war. The Giants are -3 in that game. The over-under is 47.5. Now, the Falcons' offense looks like the 2020 Giants. They throw the ball short because it can't protect for long. You know, they got rid of Julio Jones. I guess that was a good choice, right, Arthur Blank? The pass rush, the Giants should help solve that. They failed to record a sack less than 4.5 seconds this year. In a game where Daniel Jones and Matt Ryan should both enjoy more time in the pocket than normal, seeing how the other half lives up on Sunday, the Giants playmakers on both sides of the ball might make a difference, and the Giants may just get their first win at home. Remember, they only are winless because that game that happened in Washington, someone jumped off sides to give them another chance. It's all fair and love and war. Oh my God, the best game of the week in the AFC West, just my opinion. You have the Kansas City Chiefs. They are 1-1. They are playing the Los Angeles Chargers, also 1-1. That game is at GEHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. The place will be rocking. One of the loudest stadiums in the NFL. It's a 1 o'clock p.m. kickoff, East Coast time on CBS Sports. And the Chargers are getting 6.5 points. I'm telling you, the Chargers are the only team from that conference to beat the Kansas City last year. Almost beat them twice. Not so fast, my friend. Touchdown Justin Herbert and touchdown Patrick Mahomes are the two quarterbacks that are going to be facing each other on a 3rd and long. There are two quarterbacks. If you want the team that is trailing to have a chance, when you combine those two traits, the Chiefs defense is giving up 6 yards per carry, over 10 yards per attempt through the air. That's not good. They got to fix that. And then when you think about a heart-stopping finish, the Chiefs have made a habit of winning those games. Against Baltimore, they came up short. They had a fumble. And the Chargers, well, they should keep it closer than 6 points. I'm telling you, I don't think the Chargers are going to win this game, but just because touchdown Patrick Mahomes, I think losing that game in Baltimore when they had a lead, it shows them to get more attention on defense, and that's my opinion. I'm going with Kansas City to win that game over the Chargers, especially at home when the crowd is nuts. Another game that may see the tide turning. I don't want to say this, but it may see the tide turning. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they're 1-1. They're playing the Cincinnati Bengals that are also 1-1. It's at Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, and they will have their terrible towels, and the crowd will be going crazy up in beautiful Pittsburgh at Heinz Field. A 1 o'clock p.m. kickoff East Coast time on CBS Sports. If the Steelers are a 3-point favorite, the over-under is 43.5. Well, neither team can really score a lot of points, but I think they'll cover, and I got the Steelers in a close one. You know, of course, it's close to 3.5, a 3-point favorite. I'm going to go with the Steelers and Big Ben Roethlisberger to get his head out of his backside, if that makes sense to you, and get the Big C burger. It's a tasty burger, and it goes great with, what's all this got to meat? With ketchup. Ketchup goes great on the Big C burger. Heinz Field, they make ketchup. I got the Steelers winning. They got to find a way to win that game. If they don't, it's all fair and level war. But a lot has changed. The Bengals defense looks strong, especially against the runs. They shut down David Montgomery and Dalvin Cook. The Bengals offense is playing well. Think about this. Joe Burrow cannot afford a sack. The Steelers defense is incredibly banged up. T.J. Watt, Joe Harden, Devin Bush, and Alex Highsmith, they're uncertain for the game. I'm telling you, Stephon Tuitt's on injured reserve. So if Watt is out, then the Bengals have a chance. I'm telling you, because they can throw the football. But I'm going to go with the Steelers until they turn that tide. It's just my opinion. Maybe it's fool's goal, but I'm going to go Mike Tomlin, and they're going to find a way to get a win because they're at home, and that crowd would be nuts. Make it tough on that second-year quarterback out of LSU. I'm going to go Cleveland. This is for you. The great LeBron James, Cleveland's for you. They are 1-1. They're playing the Chicago Bears that are also 1-1. It's at First Energy Stadium in Cleveland, and the dog pound will be rocking. You already know it's going to be rocking. It's going to be loud. It's a 1 p.m. kickoff East Coast time on Fox Sports. The Browns are 7-point favorites. The over-under is 45.5. Matt Nagy does not want to commit publicly to starting Justin Fields, but he has already. Insisting that Andy Dalton's the team starter when he's healthy. That's going to get his butt fired. You're fired! If you can't tell the difference, man, that crowd's going to be nuts in Cleveland. It's going to be tough on Justin Fields. Don't judge him by what happens in this stadium in Cleveland. But they also might pull out a win because Cleveland's going to try to go quarterback to quarterback, make a big field on Justin Fields. They really should run the ball with Hunt. But we'll see what happens in Hill, but they'll probably try to pass the ball. The press conferences of the two teams facing a position of fear, which is a rough place to be in Week 3. Coach Nagy knows his offensive line is not ready. Moving the ball would be a challenge no matter who's at quarterback. And a private professional defense, it's not enough offense. I like Cleveland in this game, but I think Justin Fields will score a touchdown through the air and through the pass. I really like the crowd's going to be nuts in Cleveland. They're going to make it tough on Justin Fields and the Bears, but I think they're going to have a good win in Cleveland just because the defense is so tough. The Baltimore Ravens, they're 1-1. They're playing the Detroit Lions that are 0-2. It's at Ford Field in Detroit. It's a 1 p.m. kickoff East Coast time on CBS Sports. The Lions are getting 8 points. The over-under is 50. The Ravens might get 50 on their own. The crowd's not going to be that threatening at Ford Field, even if there was a potential for a hangover game. It would have involved a trip to Detroit 1 week after knocking off the Chiefs. But the Lions they're built to stop the run. They're built for it tough, if that makes sense to you. The Lions, they're built to stop the run, but not against this team. Baltimore's rolling. Their defense hasn't stopped anyone. A line 9 touchdowns in 2 weeks. I'm fascinated to see if the Ravens return to their blitz-happy ways against such a good Lions offensive line. They don't really have to play a lot of man-to-man in the secondary. I'm going with the Baltimore Ravens to have touchdowns! Touchdowns in the air and touchdown on the ground with Superman Jackson, all friend level work. Man, what a great game coming up in this one. Gillette Stadium, New England's 1-1. The New Orleans Saints, they're 1-1. Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts, and the crowd would be going nuts. They always have a good crowd in New England. It's a 1 o'clock p.m. kickoff East Coast time on Fox Sports. The Patriots they're a 3-point favorite in this game. Both offensive lines coming off of where they left a total mess. Both play callers seem to be content to play safe and avoid mistakes if possible. I'm going to go touchdown. Jameis Winston's a better quarterback, in my opinion. But they got to get the ball throwing better. The Saints' run defense is equipped to take away the Patriots' biggest strength, while the Patriots' ball-hawking secondary is well-equipped to stop touchdown Jameis Winston. Have no idea what Saints teams are going to strip. The one that beat Green Bay or the one that got knocked out by Carolina. We'll see what happens. I have no idea what to make of the Patriots' struggles up front, both sides of the ball. They did knock out the Jets, but everybody has. The only thing you think about this is the first time since 2005 we haven't seen touchdown Brady and touchdown Breeze playing that game. Arizona and Jacksonville, when you think about it, the Cardinals are 2-0. The Jacksonvilles are 0-2. It's at TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville, Florida. They'll be getting buck wild in Jacksonville. It's a 1 o'clock p.m. East Coast time kickoff on Fox Sports. The Cardinals are 7.5-point favorite, and that may not be enough because they're really good. If you're looking for the bright side on Jacksonville, the team has protected Trevor Lawrence, but they haven't played a defense like Arizona. Looking for the dark side, Lawrence is a late on throws as he tries to decode defenses. It's a break or bust, a hit or miss Vance Joseph Cardinals defense. If you think about it, it's not very complicated, that defense. But I like what you have on the offensive side. Kyler Murray, touchdown Kyler Murray. He's been one of the best quarterbacks overall, excitement-wise, in the NFL. And when you think about it, he's never looked more comfortable in this offense by Kingsbury. A system that he's coming into his own. I look at Arizona with a 2-touchdown win in that one. They're on the road, but I still feel that they're going to get that 2-touchdown win. Another game, it's a bigger game than what meets the eye. Buffalo Bills, they're 1-1. They're playing the Washington football team. It's at Highmark Stadium, Orchard Park, New York. The crowd will be going nuts. They have a great crowd, the Bills Mafia in New York. And it's a 1 p.m. kickoff East Coast time on Fox Sports. The Bills are 7.5-point favorites. The over-under is 45. And I think they'll cover. The Bills' defense is among the best in the league through 2 weeks. Coach Ron Rivera, that group has looked like an advertisement for a defensive variance. Thus far, Taylor Heineke of Old Dominion, completion record setting for him, 2020 MVP candidate. Josh Allen hasn't yet been playing at the level we wanted to play. Last week he had a great game against Miami. Everything's up and down in this matchup. I like the defense for the Washington football team, but the Bills have way too many weapons, in my opinion. They got to find touchdowns, Stephon Diggs, and they should win this game. They have a revived pass rush on the Matt Milano dominating at linebacker. I really like that game. You know who's going to go to 3-0? The Denver Broncos. They're 2-0 now. The Jets are 0-2. It's at Empower Field at Mile High Stadium in Denver. That crowd at Mile High would be going nuts. Denver has a great crowd. They can lead this team to 3-0. It's a 4:05 p.m. kickoff East Coast time on CBS Sports. And the Jets are getting 10.5. The over-under is 41.5. I'm looking for the Broncos to win this by 2 touchdowns. They're at home. NFL quarterbacking is hard. When you think about it, touchdown Teddy Bridgewater, he's been playing great. But he's also has a great defense in Denver. He doesn't have to face the Broncos secondary. You know, Patrick Surtain, the second flash, had great flashes last week in his first start. And the Kareem Jackson, I mean, he's a great player also. Zach Wilson, overthinking Zach Wilson. Trying to calculate if he can get away with the first or second or third read. Playing Vic Fangio's defense in Denver is going to be a tough night for that young kid. The crowd is going to be nuts up in Denver. It's mile high. The stadium's going to be rocking. It's going to be too much for Zach Wilson to overcome, even though he played at similar altitude at BYU. I'm going to take you to another great game. Oh, my God. Remember the C.A. Hands Stabler in the C.A. Hand at the Oakland Coliseum? And Mark Davis caught the winning pass. All-span 11 word. Not going to happen this week. The Raiders have a chance to go to 3-0. The NFL needs the Raiders to win. They're going to be at Allegiant Stadium, which is going to be rocking in Las Vegas. What happens in Vegas, it stays in Vegas. Not all the time. The Raiders 2-0. Dolphins 1-1 at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. It's a 4:05 p.m. kickoff East Coast time on CBS Sports. The Dolphins are getting 4 points. The over-under is 44. Touchdown Derek Carr is playing good defense, good offense. The Raiders receivers going to face the toughest test of the season, especially if the Dolphins match up Xavier Howard and Darren Waller. The Las Vegas revive pass rush. On the other hand, it should feast. It should be an absolute Big C burger. It's a tasty burger. It's what's that exotic meat? Well, Dolphin is exotic meat. The crowd's going to be hyped up at Allegiant Field, and they're going to get at the quarterback. We don't know who they're going to start. I'm thinking they're saying Jacoby Brissett. Not a huge downgrade from Tua, but the tendency to hold the ball too long is going to hurt the Dolphins in this game unless the Raiders have turnovers. This is the Raider team looking to prove they made good strides. And I'm telling you, touchdown Derek Carr. Don't be surprised if he throws 3 touchdown passes. Touchdown Raiders! The Raiders are looking good for this one against the Dolphins, my opinion. But it's happened before where they kind of fell flat. They started out 2-0 last year. But I think in a new environment in Las Vegas and the crowd, everything's in their way to win. I'm going to go Minnesota Vikings versus the Seattle Seahawks. The Vikings are 0-2. The Seahawks are 1-1. They should be 2-0. It's at U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It's a 4:25 p.m. kickoff East Coast time on Fox Sports. And the Vikings are getting 1.5. The over-under is 55.5. Okay, so that's 5-5-5, if that makes sense to you. 1 week after Bobby Wagner, Jamal Adams, they chased Derrick Henry around for 88 snaps. The Seahawks faced the Viking squad that they kind of found their legs in Arizona, but they lost. Cornerbacks on both of these teams should be attacked at will. Both quarterbacks are playing well, but I like the Seahawks to go on the road and get a win. I know it's hard to go 0-3 for any NFL team, especially at home, but I like the Seahawks to pull out a win with touchdown Houdini Wilson. A high-scoring opener for this game for the Vikings. I'm still going with the Seahawks. They have a better ground game. KJ Osborne provided a legitimate third receiver for Kirk Cousins. But I'm going with DK Metcalf, Russell Houdini Wilson, and that defense that should play better. And Jamal Adams has to make amends for what happened and going upside the head, a personal foul against Tannehill last week. I'm going to take you to another game. And I love LA. This is a big game at SoFi Stadium in beautiful Southern California. It might be the second best game on the West Coast. It's all fair and level war. The crowd would be going nuts. You know it? I know it. They know it. In fact, it should be such a good game. I'm going to say it's sponsored by Budweiser Zero. It has 0% alcohol, 100% on this game. It goes great with the Big C burger. It's a tasty burger, and it comes with, what's all the exotic meat? It's all the exotic meat. Last I heard, a ram is an exotic meat. Oh, my goodness. We have Stafford and Brady. These teams played last year in Tampa, and the Rams won. Both teams are 2-0 at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California, 4:25 p.m. kickoff, East Coast time on Fox Sports just down the street. The Buccaneers are 1.5-point favorite. I'm not buying that, but I am going to go. I'm going to go with the touchdown Tom Brady to pull out a win, kind of a revenge game. They haven't lost since they lost to Kansas City last year. And they're rolling. I know Antonio Brown's out. There's so much to like about each one of these teams. It's easier to look at these two great teams as maybe being in the NFC Championship game later this year. For the Buccaneers, right tackle Tristan Wirfs is off to a slow start. The team's defense is taking a step back for the Rams. The defense made big plays. They're a big-time play for the defense, but has forced just 3 punts. The special teams have struggled. There might as well be the best two teams running the most two efficient offenses in football. But I have a feeling, I feel like the Rams squad is much less picking for them to beat the reigning champions. You know, it's a tough game to pick, but I'm going to go with Tampa and touchdown Brady. Touchdown Tom Brady. He's just found ways to win. There's a reason he has 7 rings on his finger. And Stafford doesn't have any. I know it's tough to pick against a team coming home. I'm coming home. You know what I'm saying? Coming home. It looks like a Rams setup for them to win. There's no Antonio Brown, but you got touchdown Tom Brady. You got Gronk. And their defense and their offense, they come to play to game. They play to win the game. The crowd would be nuts. But I figure that touchdown Tom Brady is going to find a way. Just my opinion. I think Tom Brady is going to roll in to Foxborough undefeated when they play New England. But they got to get to the Rams first. And I think it's a big payback, like James Brown told us. It's a big payback. Now, the best game in the history of this weekend is the universe. The Big C Sports Universe will be converging on Levi Stadium in beautiful San Francisco, Santa Clara, California, where the San Francisco 49ers, they're taking on the Green Bay Packers. Oh my goodness, Aaron Rodgers comes back to Northern California, and they have these good boys wearing the gold, the red and gold, looking for another Super Bowl. It's at Levi Stadium, beautiful Santa Clara, California. Big C Sports will be there. It's all fair and love and war. I'm telling you, it's an 8:20 p.m. kickoff, East Coast time on NBC Sports. Oh my God, what a game. The 49ers are favored by 3. I think the 49ers are going to win by more than 3. Their defense is nasty. The defense is so nasty, and the offense is good too. I like the crowd at Levi Stadium. It's going to be lit. It's going to be a madhouse, a night game in San Francisco. Are you kidding me? All fair and love and war. The 49ers offense, it doesn't quite look as dangerous as it used to be without its top 4 runners, and with Brandon Ayuk serving detention and enter Trey Lance. I'm telling you, that good old boy, he should get a couple of snaps in this game too. But Garoppolo is like 24-8 as a starter. Think about it. If there ever was an opportunity to break out a running game that will test communication issues, it's against the Packers group that appears to be suffering from new schemes. The Packers left tackle Aaron Jenkins uncertain to play, and Nick Bosa just warming up this season. There could be more sacks on touchdown Aaron Rodgers. I think they're going to get him at least 4 times. They got to get him 4 times. Nick Bosa might get 2 on his own. That's a good old boy that plays with reckless abandon. I love the fact that the Niners are at home. They had a tough win on the road against Philadelphia. You know, they had a tough win on the road against the Lions, but now they're coming home. I'm coming home, and Levi Stadium will be lit. Big C Sports will be there. I have the Niners winning that game by at least 7 points. It's all fair and love and war. And then we'll get into Monday, September 27th. The Philadelphia Eagles will take on the Dallas Cowboys. That would be at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, and 8:15 p.m. kickoff East Coast time on ESPN. The Eagles are thinking about trying to get better on the season, but I'm going to have touchdown Dak Prescott, the Dallas Cowboys winning that. And I'll just give my little 2 cents about it. I got the Cowboys are going to win that game because touchdown Dak Prescott, they should be undefeated. I mean, they lost by a field goal to the defending Super Bowl champions, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but I have them right now at Arlington, AT&T Stadium. The stadium will be lit. They deserve it. They're going to have a win, just my opinion. On Monday night, even without injured defensive end Brandon Graham, the Eagles have the defensive line led by early All-Pro candidate Javon Hargrave to bother Dak Prescott, but not so fast, my friend. The Cowboys are going to win this game. They're the better team, and they deserve it, and the stadium is going to be lit down in Dallas, Texas. They are ready to rock and roll in Texas and say, how about them Cowboys? That's right. How about them Cowboys? They're looking forward to it. We're going to take what's called the Big C pause, also known as the Big C timeout. When they come back, we're going to run down the quick Major League Baseball and the Riders Cup. It's all fair and love and war. In the words of the former California governor and recall Governor Gavin Newsom, I'll be back. All right, we are back with the Big C pause, also known as the Big C timeout. You can follow Big C Sports on 18 podcast applications all over the universe. And 4 TV applications. I want to say the segment sponsored by Budweiser Zero. It has 0% alcohol and 100% on its game. And it goes great with the Big C burger. It's a tasty burger, and it comes with all those exotic meats. It's all fair and love and war. Get ready for football and golf and baseball. What a great weekend. I'm just going to run down quickly the Ryder Cup. Their the Cup pairings, and we have, I guess number one, we have Jason and Shuffley. Got those two, and one was Casey and Wesberger. DeChambeau and Scheffler are together, paired together. Rahm and Hatton are compared together. Finau and Inglis, they're paired together. McElroy and Lowry, I like that pairing right there. We have Thomas Catley and Fleetwood and Hovland are paired together. We'll have more stuff coming for you. Pay attention to John Rahm and Sergio Garcia also. Jordan Spieth and Justin Thomas. I like those two. Dustin Johnson, Colin Morikawa, and Victor Hovland, Paul Casey. There'll be more that I'll run down on Monday as we come back from that Ryder Cup, and hopefully they'll have a lot of fun up there in Wisconsin as everybody gets ready for that golf. It's a great weekend. We have MMA fighting down in Las Vegas. We have football all over the place on high school football on Big C's Friday Night Lights. We have college football kicking off over the weekend. NFL football kicking off on Sunday. Big C Sports will be in San Francisco, Santa Clara at beautiful Levi Stadium. All fair and Leavenworth. I hope that everybody out there, please get through this weekend. Don't drink and drive. Don't let your friends drink and drive. You want to make sure they get through the weekend. Whatever you got to do, take the keys. Tell them chill out. Take the pause. Tell them Big C told you. It's all fair in Leavenworth. I love Major League Baseball. Going to just run down the quick schedule. Tonight's Major League Baseball, my goodness, it's like the playoffs are already here. And now, fighting out of the National League West, the San Francisco Giants and the Los Angeles Dodgers. All fan Leavenworth going to go into Friday, September 24th in Philadelphia. It's Philadelphia Freedom. I love Philadelphia playing the Pittsburgh Pirates. The count is one, and the count is actually full. We have pitchers, counts full, runners on first and second. The pitch, curveball, swung on, hit deep, left field, back to the wall, home run. Say hello to my little friends. It's all fair in Leavenworth. On the mound, Miguel Yuri. Pay attention to him. At bat, Andrew McCutcheon. Also, JT Romaldo and Brad Miller. I can give you that. Going to fly out of Philadelphia into Baltimore. Let's get ready to rumble in Baltimore. The Texans are in town. We have runners on first and third. The count's full. The pitch, curveball, swung on, hit deep, right field, back to the wall, home run. Say hello to my little friends. The girls love the long ball, and men love to hit deep. It's all fair in Leavenworth pitching. The great Spencer Howard at bat, Richie Martin. Also Pat Valika. I can pay you those names because I don't get in trouble with my prop betting friends. I talk fast because sometimes you got to listen faster on the Big C Sports. Airplanes don't wait for people that walk slow, and neither does Big C Sports. Going to fly into Detroit, Motown. Kansas City Royals are there. We have runners on first and second. The count's full. The pitch, curveball, swung on, hit deep, left field, back to the wall, home run. Say hello to my little friends. The girls love the long ball, and men love to hit deep. In Detroit, pitching is Jose Urena, and also pay attention at the plate when Jose Urena is up to bat. That's all I can give you guys for my prop betting friends. I don't want to get in trouble. Cleveland, this for you. We're going to find the Cleveland, this for you, to take on the Chicago White Sox. That clinched. Congratulations, Chicago White Sox yesterday. We have runners on first and third. The count's full. The pitch, swung on, hit deep, left field, back to the wall, home run. Say hello to my little friends. You cannot throw a curveball against that batter. On the mound, pitching clever, Stefan, and then also at bat, Cesar Hernandez. Pay attention to that. And then also Andrew Vaughn, as well as Lewis Roberts. My prop betting friends said I could give you that. Going to fly into Cincinnati, where we have a great atmosphere in Cincinnati. Runners on first and third. The count's full. The pitch, curveball, swung on, hit deep, left field, back to the wall, home run. Say hello to my little friends. All friend Leavenworth. Sonny Gray is pitching. At bat, Andrew Stevenson, as well as Jonathan India. Keep those names in mind. Going to fly out of Cincinnati into Tampa. We have the Miami Marlins and the Tampa Bay Rays. What a great ballpark. They need to take the roof off of it. We have counts full. Runners on first and second. The pitch, curveball, swung on, hit deep, left field, back to the wall, home run. Say hello to my little friends. The Tampa Bay Rays, they've already clinched the division. Congratulations. The girls love the long ball, and men love to hit deep in Tampa. They also love championships. All they do is win no matter what, it seems. Pitching, Edward Cabrera. At bat, Andy Ariza. And then Miguel Rojas going to fly out of Tampa into Boston. We have the New York and the Boston. Oh, my God, what a series. We have runners on first and third. The counts for the pitch. Curveball, swung on, hit deep. Left field, back to the wall. Home run. They cleared the Green Monster. All fair, another war. In Boston, the girls love the long ball, and men love to hit deep. All fair in level war. On the mound, the great Garrett Cole. Also at bat, Kyle Schwarber. Also, Jose Iglesias. I can give you those things before we fly out of Boston Logan International into Chicago O'Hare. We have Chicago taking on St. Louis. Oh my good, we have runners on first and third. They count for the pitch. Curveball, swung on, hit deep. Left field, back to the wall. Home run. Say hello to my little friends. All square and 11 war. In Chicago, the girls love the long ball and men love to hit deep. On the mound, the great Jack Flaherty. At bat, Patrick Wisdom, as well as Frank Swindle. I can give you those names. It's all fair and 11 war. Gonna fly into Colorado with the Giants. Giants, you gotta keep on grooving. You gotta groove, we're riding on the groove line tonight. Remember the song by Heat Wave? Cause rain, shine, don't mind. We're riding on the groove line tonight. Okay, yeah, I think they're reading the scores. The Giants are in town. The Colorado Rockies, we have runners on first and third. The count's full. The pitch, curveball, swung on, hit deep. Left field, back to the wall, home run. Say hello to my little friend. All spread 11 world. The girls love the long ball, and men love to hit deep in Denver. On the mound, the great Alex Wood. Also at bat, Elias Diaz. Pay attention, Charlie Blackmon. Also, Ramil Tapia and Brendan Rodgers. That's all the names I can give you. Giants, I really want those World Series tickets. Come on, man. Come on, man. Bounce, rock, skate. Do what you got to do. I want to be in the World Series. They may even have me in as a closing pitcher. Wouldn't that be something? I'm going to fly out of Colorado into Milwaukee. We have the New York Mets in town. We have runners on first and third. They count for the pitch. Curveball, swung on, hit deep. Left field, back to the wall. Home run. Say hello to my little friend. It's all fair and level war. The girls love the long ball, and men love to hit deep in Milwaukee. On the mound, Eric Lauer. At bat, James McCann. And then Michael Conforto, as well as Pete Alonso. I have a couple more games. We're going to fly into Minnesota where they're taking on the Toronto Blue Jays. And we have runners on first and third. That counts for the pitch. Curveball, swung on, hit deep. Left field, back to the wall. Home run. Say hello to my little friend. On the mound, Jose Barrios. At bat, Josh Donaldson. Also, George Polanco. I can give you those names, and that's about it because they told me not to give you more. Going to fly into Los Angeles, the Anaheim Angels, taking on the Seattle Mariners. We have runners on first and third. The counts for the pitch. Curveball, swung on, hit deep. Right field, back to the wall. Home run. Say hello to my little friend. The girls love the long ball. Men love to hit deep in Los Angeles. The Mariners are in town taking on the Angels. Logan Gilbert on the mound. Pay attention. Also, Jose Suarez. Now, Suarez has a 3.67 ERA. He's a Deadeye Knight. He's a gunslinger. Also, Logan Gilbert, not that bad. He's a 4.74 ERA. He's also a Deadeye Knight and a gunslinger. I'm going to bring you to a couple more games that's really big as we chase down the, oh my God, the hunt for October. The Houston Astros at the Oakland A's. Runners on first and third. The counts for the pitch. Curveball, swung on, hit deep. Left field. That ball's going high. Home run. Say hello to my little friends in the East Bay. The girls love the long ball and men love to hit deep in Oakland. On the mound, Zach Greinke. He has a 4.11 ERA. He's a Jedi Knight. He's a gunslinger. And then Frankie Montas. He has a 3.57 ERA. He's also a Jedi Knight and a gunslinger. Two more games I'm going to give you. Tonight, the Atlanta Braves at the San Diego Padres. We have runners on first and third. That counts for the pitch. Swung on, hit deep with the curveball. It's hit deep. It's hit left field. Back to the wall. Home run. Say hello to my little friends in San Diego. I can guarantee the girls love the long ball and men love to hit deep. And now I'm going to fly you back into Arizona where Sam Jackson said, I'm tired of all these blankety blank snakes on this blankety blank plane. If that makes sense to you. Runners on first and third. Oh my goodness, the count's full. The pitch, curveball, swung on, hit deep. Left field, back to the wall, home run. Say hello to my little friend. The girls love the long ball, and men love to hit deep. On the mound, Tony Gosling, and also pay attention to Humberto Castellanos. It's all fair and level war. That's running down Big C's Friday Night Lights. Also college football, some NFL football, Major League Baseball, all fair 11 more. I'll be in San Francisco, Santa Clara on Sunday for the Green Bay Packers, San Francisco 49ers. Back in the day, there's a man by the name of Drew Boudini Brown. He was known as Muhammad Ali's right-hand man, and he would always tell Ali, you float like a butterfly, you sting like a bee, you rumble, young men rumble. What are you doing with all those exotic meats? And Ali said, I'm pretty, I can't possibly be beat. With all I've got to use, with all these Big C burgers and the protein I get from them, how can I lose? If that makes sense to you. You can always find happiness when you follow sports. I love the sports world. As my beautiful mama always says, there's never ever an excuse for racism or domestic violence. No man, woman, or child should ever have to go through that garbage on their own. As we always tell you on every Big C Sports show, we thank you, we appreciate you, and we hope that you have a super fantastic day.